Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I'm going to be making some chicken shish or chicken shish tawuk. It's a Turkish recipe, very popular all over the world. It's like Turkish kebab. And I'm going to be using 1 kilo of chicken breast that I will be dicing up into small pieces. I'll be using 1 cup of fresh, full fat yogurt. Make sure it's not sweetened. I have 1 large green pepper. I have 1 large red onion. I'm going to use the juice of a lemon, and this is optional, but I'm also going to be adding lime juice as well as some of the lime zest. That is optional. I'm also going to be adding some garlic, probably 6 cloves of garlic. 4 is enough, but I like garlic. I'm also going to be adding some ginger paste, probably a large heaped teaspoon. I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of salt and spices. I'll show you the spices when I add them. Okay, so here is my chicken. I've cut it up into small pieces like this, very small pieces. You see how small it is? Usually when you're cooking chicken shish tawuk, they make it much bigger than this, the chicken. And it's easier to cut when you make it bigger chunks. But I prefer it this way, so that's why I've cut it into these pieces. So let's carry on with the rest of the ingredients. Okay, I've cut my red onions, into medium-sized pieces like this. They don't have to be too big or too small. Okay, so I've mixed in the onions with the chicken. As you can see, I changed my container because the other one was just too small. I've just added in my green pepper. It was a very large green pepper. I've cut it into medium chunk pieces like this. I'm just going to mix it all in. I'm just about to add in the zest of a lime. This is optional. This is not authentic ingredient that they add to shish tawuk. But I've been obsessed with limes recently. So I'm going to be adding all of this. It's from 1 small lime. I just zested it with a grater on the small part of the grater, small side of the grater. Now I'm going to be adding the juice of the lemon, the lime, as well as the lemon. I'm just going to squeeze it in, both of them, both halves, as well as the whole lemon. Yes, I really like citrus. You only really have to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Everything else I'm adding is extra because I personally like it. You can add more or less depending on your taste. So I'm just going to add all the juices now. But the recipe asks for 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, depending on how much you like. You can get away with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice if you don't like too much lemon or lime. Okay, next ingredient is a cup of the yogurt. 1 cup of yogurt. Okay, so I've just added the 1 cup of yogurt in there. 1 cup of yogurt. Make sure it's not sweetened yogurt. Don't use sweetened yogurt, it will ruin the food. Next, I'm going to be adding around 9 cloves of garlic. These are small, so I decided to use 9 of them because they're very small. 4 is enough if they're, normal size. 4 is enough, but I like garlic, extra garlic. So I'm just cutting up my mountain of garlic, and I'm going to add that next to the marinade. Okay, next to go in is a teaspoon of salt. Watch out for the salt. You can always add more later, but you cannot take away salt from the food. So be very careful with salt. I've added 1 teaspoon of salt. You can add to taste, however much you prefer. Okay, this next ingredient is also optional. It's not authentic. The Turkish people don't usually add it, but this is ginger paste. I like the taste. I'll probably add a bit more, but this is not necessary. This is optional. 1 teaspoon of ginger paste. Okay, next to go in are the spices. I'm going to start with a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. 1 teaspoon cumin powder. also known as Jeera powder. Next to go in is 1 teaspoon of paprika powder. 1 teaspoon paprika powder. Next to go in is a few pinches of black pepper, not too much, less than 1/4 teaspoon. You can add in more if you like, it depends on your preference. You can add in up to 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper powder. Next to go in is a teaspoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder. Next to go in is a teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon chili powder. This chili powder I have is not too hot, it's called Aleppo chili powder, so it's not too hot. You can add in 1/2 teaspoon of regular chili powder, or up to your own preference, how much you like. And the last thing to go in is about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of olive oil, up to you how much you want in there. And now I'm going to mix everything in together thoroughly. I'm going to mix it all together very thoroughly. I'm going to use this spoon, but you can use your hands to mix it. Okay, to give the chicken a nice color, usually Turkish people add about 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, but I don't feel like adding tomato paste today. But sometimes I do, but today I don't feel like adding it. So once it's all mixed like this, you put a lid on it, you put it in the fridge to marinate for around 4 hours. You could do minimum 2 hours of marinating. But I'm going to marinate mine overnight because I'm going to eat this tomorrow for dinner. So I'm going to marinate this for almost 24 hours. And then I will be cooking, I'm going to pan fry it on the pan. Probably cook a 1/4 of it. And I'll be eating this over the next 4 or 5 days. And I'll just be cooking enough for each day. Just pan fry it for a few minutes. Because the chicken is so small, it won't take long to cook at all. It will literally take like 8 minutes. Chicken this size. That's why I made it small. It'll cook quicker and it'll taste better, I think, when it's small like this. Turkish people usually make it much larger than this because they grill it, but I don't have a grill, so I'm just going to pan fry it on the hob or on the stove. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's been around 24 hours. Now I'm just going to cook the chicken in a normal frying pan. I'm just going to put it in the frying pan with nothing in the frying pan. Yeah, so this was in the fridge for 24 hours. Now it's ready to cook. I'm only going to cook about 1/4 of this. The rest I'm going to leave it in the fridge and cook it the next few days, however much I need. You can keep this in the fridge for up to 4 days. It's fine, absolutely fine. It will remain fresh and taste good. Okay, I've got the chicken in my frying pan on high heat. The chicken is cut quite small, so it won't take too long to cook. I'm just going to be moving it around like this for around 8 minutes, and it will be ready in 8 minutes. Once it has a nice color to it, like a barbecued color, a bit brown around the edges, I'm going to turn it off. I'll show you when it's ready after 8 minutes. I'm just basically going to move it around like this every minute or so, occasionally, and it'll be ready in 8 minutes. I'm serving my chicken with this simple cucumber salad. I'm going to add some dressing to it. And this Somali flat bread called mufo. This is also on my YouTube channel. You can search it. If you just put in Somali flat bread or mufo, M-U-U-F-O. Okay, it's been about 4 or 5 minutes. And as you see, the chicken will produce a little bit of liquid, but let it dry out. I'll show you when it's ready after another 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 8 minutes and I just tasted the chicken for salt. It tastes amazing and it smells delicious. Everything is gone very well. I'm just going to turn it off the heat after a minute. I just want it a little bit, just a fraction bit more brown, but the chicken is cooked now, so I'm not going to leave it on too long because I don't want the chicken to overcook and become tough. But this is ready now. I'm going to plate it up in a second. Okay, now here's the finished product. The chicken smells amazing. And I have my salad with some ranch dressing and chili sauce. Thank you for watching. Please like my videos and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.